So now we can see the remaining theories of dividend policies. We already discussed the theory and Walter's theory. Now we are going to discuss the other theories, and let's see the first theory, that is Gordon's model. Actually, Gordon's model is an extension to the Walter's model. What already Walter said, Gordon has again said it, because it is also a relevant theory, and Gordon says that the value of the firm is totally associated with the dividend policy. That means the dividend policy affects the value of the firm, and that's why dividend policy, it is a relevant theory. So M. Gordon has also given the model similar to Walter. Dividends are relevant and it affects the value of the firm. Gordon argues that the investors prefer the current dividends rather than the capital gains. Dividends are more predictable than the capital gains. So the investors value current dividends more than expected future capital gain. As per Gordon's model, definitely the dividend payment affects the value of the firm, and Gordon also adds one more point that every shareholders, every investors will prefer the current dividend than a future benefit which is supposed to get after reinvesting in the business. So they will prefer dividends more than the retained earnings. To see the assumptions of Gordon theory, please refer your textbook. Now we can move on to the next theory, that is residual theory. It focuses on firms' internal needs for capital. If there is any investment opportunity, company should pay less or no dividend. So the priority is given to the business opportunities. If there is good investment opportunity, then the company should retain the earnings and should reinvest in those business opportunity. If any amount remains, then that residual amount can be paid as dividend to the shareholders. If no amount is remaining after investing in the business opportunity, then no need to pay dividend. That is residual theory. Out of the earnings, first the company finances its investment opportunity. If anything left over, that is paid out as dividend. Now we can move on to the bird in hand theory. This is what Gordon already said. Graham, Dodd, and Cottle states that $1 of dividend is worth opportunity $3 of retained cash flows. According to this theory, current income, that means dividend, is worth more to investor than the future benefit in the form of capital gains, that means retained earnings. This is what Gordon already had said. Now we can move on to the next theory, that is dividend preference theory. It is developed by Solomon Ezra, and dividend payment is preferred to the retention of earning. Why? This is because a high rate of dividend payout ratio helps to increase the price of shares. As per dividend preference theory of Solomon Ezra, he says that always a dividend payment is preferred by an investor than the retention of earnings because of many reasons. Because dividend payment provides the first-hand information to the investors about the profitability of the company. And always a group of low income average shareholders definitely prefer a stable and regular income in the form of dividends. And current dividend payment will resolve the uncertainty in the minds of investors regarding the performance of the company. Because of all these reasons, as per Solomon Ezra, people or the average normal investors prefer dividend payment over the retention of or the retained earnings. That is the dividend preference theory. So we have discussed almost all dividend models. Now we can see the different principles of dividend. The principles of dividend are mainly increase in value, balance between shareholders and company needs, long-term perspective, reduce speculative trading, avoid skipping dividend, communication, etc. Increase in value. So that means whatever dividend policy has taken, the main aim is to increase the market price of the share and hence the increase in the value of the firm. So every company should give importance to the increase in the value of the firm. Considering the increase in the value of the firm, an appropriate dividend policy has to be formulated and implemented. And the balance, next point is the balance between shareholders and the company needs. So whenever we are planning a dividend policy, we must see what all are the company needs and what all are the needs of the shareholders. In order to satisfy the shareholders, we should provide adequate dividend to them. And in order to satisfy the company needs in the future, we should retain some of the earnings too. So we should keep a balance between these two while forming a dividend policy. And the next point is long-term perspective. And it always says that whenever we are formulating a dividend policy, it is better to keep a long-range view than a short-range goal. So whenever we are formulating a dividend policy, we should have a long-term perspective rather than having a short-range objective, and reduce speculative trading. And a dividend policy should be framed in such a way that it should reduce the speculative trading of the shares. And a dividend policy should be formed in such a way that it should not avoid skipping dividend. So whenever this dividend should be paid to the investors in all possible ways, unless the company is in that much bad situation. If the company is in that much bad situation, then we can skip the dividend payment. Otherwise, it is not good to skip the dividend payment. And communication. The communication is the last point. As per the principles of dividend, whatever policy has taken in terms of dividend, it must be communicated well to the investors and to the stakeholders. And regarding how much of dividend is, how much of earning has been paid as dividend, how much of earnings has been returned for reinvestment, all these kinds of investment information should be definitely be intimated to the shareholders. So these are the main principles of dividend. So that's all about the different dividend models and the principles of